Do you remember when Nike's CEO sent an email going after President Trump? It happened back in early 2017 when Mark Parker tried going after President Donald Trump in regards to his executive order that made it more difficult for people from 7 different countries who were mostly Muslim populations to travel to the United States. That was about safety and doing extreme vetting to ensure that the people traveling into the United States have the best interests for themselves and the American people. The executive order was quickly called the travel ban, even though people were able to come in, but they had to be vetted first. We get checked out before entering football games, don't we? So it's just like that, but much more in depth. You know, just trying to prevent the wrong people from coming over and having an explosive time, if you will. Well, at the time, Nike CEO Mark Parker didn't like it. He released a company statement on it, which is apparently something he doesn't do very often. This letter stated Nike stands together against bigotry and any form of discrimination. And now more than ever, let's stand up for our values, whoever our means, and remain open and inclusive as a brand and as a company. He then mentioned a British athlete who was a gold medalist 4 times. That guy's name is Sir Mo Farah, and Mark thought he might not be able to enter America because he was born in Somalia, although common sense would suggest that an Olympic athlete was probably highly unlikely to commit an act of terror. Well, let's hope not. The Nike CEO Parker stated Mo has dedicated his life to competing for his adopted country, and yet Mo fears that he may not be allowed to return from his training camp in Ethiopia to see his wife and children in Portland, Oregon. Mo stated some concerns on Facebook, but I don't really recall hearing much else about it. In fact, that's because now is the first time I've ever heard of the guy anyway. Moving forward to present day, President Donald Trump stated today that Nike sent a terrible message this week by making former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick one of the faces representing the 30th anniversary of the company's Just Do It campaign. But he also said the company's ability to make its own decisions is what this country is all about. According to the president, he thinks that it is a terrible message. Nike is a tenant of mine. They pay a lot of rent, according to President Trump, referring to Nike Town, New York, which is, for now, located at 6 East 57th Street in New York City. The president made the remarks during an exclusive Oval Office interview with the Daily Caller. Colin Kaepernick kicked off a protest movement among some NFL players. Kaepernick, who now alleges that league owners are colluding to keep him off an NFL roster, explained the rationale behind his protest in August of that year. I am not going to stand up to show pride in a flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color. To me, this is bigger than football, and it would be selfish on my part to look the other way. President Trump has been staunchly and vocally opposed to players protesting during the NFL anthem, tweeting in September of 2017, for instance, the issue of kneeling has nothing to do with race. It is about respect for our country, our flag, and the national anthem. On Monday, Kaepernick tweeted an image from Nike's campaign with the words, "Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything." Well, Colin, I'm sure of course you're still getting paid millions of dollars for this ad campaign, aren't you? Because you're not doing it for free. I'm sure Oprah gave you that advice, right? President Trump continued by stating there is no reason for the famous sports apparel company to tap Kaepernick for this campaign. But I think it is a terrible message that they're sending, and the purpose of them doing it, maybe there's a reason for them doing it, I don't know. But I think as far as sending a message, I think it's a terrible message and a message that shouldn't be sent. There's no reason for it. Despite that, President Trump acknowledged that it's Nike's right to make its own business decisions. In another way, it's what this country is all about, that you have certain freedoms to do things that other people think you shouldn't do, of course, but I personally am on a different side of this opinion.
Outrage is growing among veterans as Nike has selected Colin Kaepernick to be the new face of Nike for the year, the Just Do It campaign.
There, you can see right there, the caption is, believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. You know, usually companies and brands avoid taking strong public positions that could alienate their buyers.
Yeah, times have changed though, right?
And just take a look at our friend, country musician John Rich. He tweeted this out yesterday. Our sound man just cut the Nike swoosh off his socks. Former Marine, get ready, Nike. Multiply that by millions. And you know what? After that, take a look at these images. People across the country, don't know how many, setting their Nikes on fire. They are upset that Nike would align themselves with the one of the NFL's most polarizing figures.
Well, keep in mind, too, there's people that feel differently. For example, those who attended the U.S. Open over the weekend, when Colin Kaepernick was pointed out in the stands, he got a standing ovation. I think he was sitting with Eric Reed, who's also not in the league, even though he's in his prime. He's suing the NFL because he says collusion's keeping him out of the NFL, where John Elway came out and said, you were offered a job, you didn't take it, so we'll see where this goes. So Kaepernick tweeted out, believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. Hashtag just dolt, I guess. No, just do it. Nike's statement says this: we believe Colin is one of the most inspirational athletes of his generation who has leveraged the power of sport to help move the world forward. Wow.
Joey Jones was weighing in on this. He's on our show often. You know, he lost both of his legs fighting for our country. He posted that, a picture of is it a funeral? It's
a military
funeral. And he wrote, no sweat, Nike, I gotcha.
And as you can see, just above that, the caption is, believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. Bryant Serena Williams said yesterday she was especially proud to be part of the Nike family today. So there are a lot of people who are supporting him. Kevin Jackson, who was on this program talking to Brian about 45 minutes ago, is not one of them.
For Kaepernick to say that there's a police problem in America for blacks is just a disingenuous lie. The left at least do support their causes. It's as bad as it is for Nike to do this, at least they support them. We've had a lot of difficulty getting supporters, believe it or not, to want to protect law enforcement. And I find this incredible that, you know, there aren't companies that are willing to step up and say, yeah, we'd love to sponsor this. I think that's pretty cowardly. And here's Nike standing up for, quite frankly, something that's wrong. So, and we had people call me a radical for wanting to do this film to bridge the gap between police and the black community. I find that unbelievable.
Fox Sports' Jason Whitlock, an African-American columnist, says today told you all from day one, this has been about the money, all of it. Revolutionaries aren't sponsored by major corporations. It's been a hustle from the giddy up. So the question is, no one's saying that their race relations couldn't improve, but people just look at the timing of the national anthem as being the spot, especially when you're going over and doing it in Wembley Stadium, so showing the rest of the world. When you get saluted by Ahmadinejad, a vile leader of a horrible regime in Iran, you know there might be an issue at Nike.
An issue, and the big question is it going to impact their business? I mean, ultimately, we saw people lighting their shoes on fire. Are people going to buy less Nikes? They're going to buy more Adidas or Reebok? Well, don't know today, but we do know that online there's a lot of outrage.
Colin Kaepernick's jersey is the hottest jersey right now, so a lot of people do support him, but there are a lot of people that don't support what he's doing, don't support the message, and I have a feeling are not going to buy Nike anymore.
Well, let's see.
We'll see what the stock does, publicly traded. We'll know right away.